Arsenal allegedly are interested in signing or acquiring the services of Chelsea's Conor Gallagher. We're still linked with Gyökeres. We're linked with Nico Williams. Xavi Simons rumours keep circling. Lokonga could be going to Sevilla. Again, 99.9% of these rumours tend to be BS, but it makes for great talking points. People, deluded, I'm back again. As usual, big up you lot for tuning in. If you're new here, make sure you've hit the sub button. Don't forget to like and get the creative juices flowing so that you can comment your thoughts. Now, if you give me 2 seconds, I'll share my screen and enough rambling. We'll get into things, people. Big up you lot for tuning in, especially my regular supporters. Now, I must admit, I'm sure you Arsenal fans are a bit confused as I am. In fact, the first thing I'd say is we're actually bored. I understand, including myself. I'm very frustrated. I want Arsenal to sign a player or players. At the same time, the window is just opened. We're in June. We've got until September. That isn't me saying, I know Arsenal are going to do things, but, with the last 2 years and the signings we've made and trajectory, I do think Mikel Arteta and Eddie on the back burners are getting things done. And where a striker is concerned, we've been there with Isaac. We all knew that wasn't happening. Joshua Zertsky rumours are still there. We were once linked with Ivan Toney. It did feel like there was legs or a willingness to get the Sesko deal done. When it came out that obviously staying at Leipzig, it was wide of the mark. Gyökeres is a player that's obviously had a great season at Sporting Lisbon. He's previously played in England with Coventry and technically Brighton. He's a decent player. And I do think he fits Arsenal's remit. But I could understand, including myself, you would say, this is one great, really, really standout season in the top 5 league from him. And is he worth the money? And I always take the striker links with Arsenal with a pinch of salt. I do think Arsenal have a willingness to bring a striker in. I wouldn't say it's not a priority because that is an evident area that we could improve. But I think with the options we have internally, with Kai Havertz's form towards the end of the year, with there not really being a market for value for money where strikers are and having to pay a premium, I think Arsenal want to get a striker and they would if they could, but they're prepared to rest on their laurels, maybe bring in a wide man. And honestly, if we don't sign a central midfielder, I don't think we challenge for the league title or we'll fall short. So I do take Gyökeres links with a pinch of salt because, as I said, Sesko's confirmed to stay at Leipzig. A couple of the other targets are not happening. So the journalists have to be a bit creative. As I say, we all know 99.9% of these things are BS. Nonetheless, if reports are to be believed, Arsenal are about to secure the signing of Sporting Lisbon striker Viktor Gyökeres for below his 100 million euros release clause. The club's agreed on a fixed amount of 90 million euros, so that's around 80, and it could potentially rise to 100 odd million. And it says here it could rise to 120 million euros after add-ons based on goals, Champions League appearances, and trophies. So I think he fits the remit. Definitely, I wouldn't say be my first choice. I would have loved the Isaac. I think Sesko would be great, but I do think he ticks a lot of Mikel Arteta's boxes. Does he upgrade our system? Does he make us better? Does he come with an assurance of being a striker that gets 20 odd goals, and adds to a team that got 91 Premier League goals, 100 in all comps? I think he's got the capacity to, but I'd be lying if I said there's an assurance in that regards. I would love a striker. Again, Sporting Lisbon, I'm sure, there's a number of their players linked with moves away. They could sell Gyökeres for a decent sum. There was also rumours to give him a new deal. Diamande, a defender we've been linked with. Inacio, who could be going Manchester United. So we'll have to take these things with a pinch of salt, people. But nonetheless, let me know your thoughts. Now, Nico Williams, a player we've all been looking at over the last year, and he's enhancing his reputation with his exports for Spain, and he absolutely cooked that Italian right back, really, and has had 2 encouraging games. And I like him, but you see how he played against Italy. That needs to be the minimum now. I think he's shown greater consistency, but there's ever so slight fluctuations. He's consistently linked with Barcelona. The Athletic have said Arsenal and Chelsea both have Nico Williams on their wish list. Arteta sees him as one of his preferred options if Arsenal decide to go for a wide player this summer. Industry sources say Williams' release clause is in the region of 55 million euros. Again, apparently Romano has said he's one of the players Bayern Munich considered in March behind the scenes. Obviously, it looks like Elise is from Crystal Palace is going to Bayern Munich. Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool all allege have an interest. So you throw those 3 clubs in, you throw Barcelona and make it 4. Atletico Bilbao have got him to sign a new deal recently. So let the auction begin, even though he does have a release clause and it's down to the player. And similar to Sesko, I don't think Arsenal or any of these clubs are going to activate the release clause unless they've spoken to the people close to Nico Williams and Nico Williams himself, and he wants to join them. Romano has said once again that they've contacted those close to them. One player that has departed Arsenal, Arthur Okonkwo, Gyökeres confirmed he is leaving Arsenal on a free transfer. We wish him all the best. You lot would have seen Koza Jubri is set to leave the club after turning down a contract offer. I have done a more specific video on him, but for what it is, people, you know, rightly or wrongly, you know, it's not a guarantee you're going to be a better player and have the future you want if you leave Arsenal. Likewise, is it going to stay? But at some point, you know, you need to leave your comfort zone and leave your situation. At the end of the day, you've got whether they stay, you've got Reece Nelson, Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira, Gabriel Jesus, Trossard, Bukayo Saka, all as wide options, give or take, ahead of you. Obviously, there's rumours of Arsenal bringing in a wide man, and we'd all love Nico Williams. It doesn't make sense for him to stay, in my opinion. He needs to be outside his comfort zone, a bit like our defender Waters, who's leaving, and go and play men's football, if I'm completely honest with you. And naturally, as we get better as a football club, there's going to be less opportunities. I think where you look at Ethan, he'll come through. I think where you look at Saka, regardless, he would have come through. But where you look at Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, maybe even Maitland-Niles and Iwobi, if Arsenal was a lot more competitive, these players may have had to leave, and Joe Willock as well, they may have had to leave and go elsewhere to become who they are, people. The Athletic has said, you know, he's turned down a contract offer, people. Arsenal did make him an offer last summer with the intention of sending him on loan in January. Obviously, with the contract talks, he was never going to go on loan unless there was a resolution over that. So I wish him the best, and I actually rate it, because at the end of the day, it's not making sense. Keeping up the theme with departures, apparently Sevilla and Arsenal have begun discussions about Lokonga joining them on loan. Me, and I'm sure a number of you lot, would prefer him to leave permanently. Obviously, he's had 2 loan spells at Luton and Crystal Palace and done well at Luton versus Crystal Palace, but hasn't really pulled up any trees. And at 24 years of age, he needs some stability. If he goes on loan, he's not going to have that. Apparently, he's got 2 years left on his contract, people, 1 year with an option of a 1-year extension. So you're hoping he goes to Sevilla, has a standout loan, and then we just get a cut price deal and then we keep it moving. Or, you know, you go to Sevilla, the penny drops, you finally look like the next Yaya Toure, like company said, and we've got a decent player. You know, he deserves to go and play football. He's realised he needs to move away. We've seen the interview he's done a few months ago. So, yeah, and obviously with Kieran Tierney's injury, I wonder what that makes for moving him on. Arsenal allegedly have joined Manchester United in the race to sign Josh Rezertsky from Bologna. Where have we not heard that Arsenal, Manchester United, AC Milan and Juventus are all interested? Apparently we could accelerate the deal. Apparently AC Milan had been in pole position, but apparently that has reached a roadblock of sorts. Some say it's due to the commission his agent is seeking. Now, I know on the face of it, his goals are not eye-catching. It's not a 20 league goal man. But I think in the modern day and what Arteta demands from a striker, I think there's a lot of plus points. He could get better and he probably score goals in an Arsenal system that got 91 Premier League goals. He's very good at pressing, pause. He's very good at dropping deep and doing all the other facets of being a striker. And at 6'4", he brings a lot of height. Do like him a lot. And he did help Bologna qualify for the Champions League last season. Thiago Motta's gone to Juventus. He's still also linked with them. Allegedly, Manchester United remain hopeful of signing him. I think Arsenal have an admiration for him. I just think we're not evidently in pole position to go and look for him. Once again, if today reports of Manchester United signing him are extremely aggressive. Allegedly, we've asked to sign Conor Gallagher, asked to be kept informed on his situation. I don't reckon he wants to leave Chelsea anytime soon. I reckon he wants to wait until after the Euros, or at least show if he can impress the manager. To be fair to Conor Gallagher, and it's more of the mess Chelsea are, there was a number of times last season I saw him in midfield with Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, and he looked like, and again, it shows how bad Chelsea are. He looked like the £100 million man. Now, half the players at Chelsea are not playing to their potential, a bit like Gareth Southgate's England. So you need to look at the manager. I wouldn't be against Conor Gallagher. I know people don't want to hear that. Would not mind him in the squad. Keyword in the squad, kind of what he should be at Chelsea. If we're looking at him to be the guy to partner Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, then I have concerns. And I do think, even in theory, if Mikel Arteta wanted to do that, I'd give the manager faith, because he showed me sometimes I can't see the light, but I trust the gaffer. But then I'd really have to be putting trust in you. So I'll take him for the squad as another option in midfield. Not necessarily, not that game-changing left-sided 8 that we want at the football club. Apparently, Manchester United, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Spurs apparently have placed a bid, as well as Atletico Madrid. It's easy to link us with him. He's young. He's youngish. He's English. We've dealt with Chelsea and done business with them before. We need a central midfielder. He's been linked with a move away. So again, it could be a case of creative journalism, people. Bruno Guimaraes has been linked with Arsenal once again. Between him and Martin Zubimendi, I'm quite bored of it. And again, where it comes to Guimaraes, if you're not going to pay the mega bucks that Newcastle want, forget about it. It's not going to happen, is it, people? We've been linked with, I can't say his name, but KK of Paris Saint-Germain, of Napoli, as well as Paris Saint-Germain. Would love him at the club. but I think it's a myth. For what it's worth, though, Robin Boehner has said, you look at Arsenal, they probably want someone who's maybe a little bit more versatile. Besides, they've got other priorities, particularly as a centre forward. We know they want a goal scoring centre forward, perhaps Osimhen, which kind of leaves Manchester City as the one club that could realistically pursue. Let's attempt it. Kvaratskhelia, again, forgive me. But again, I would Napoli want to lose him and obviously Osimhen in one window. I'm not too sure. Would love him at the carpet. It's a myth. One young player who's been released by Arsenal but has found another club, young Kamani Ryan, has been signed by Burnley. We wish the 18-year-old all the best. He had trials at Norwich and Watford. Obviously, he's been able to find a club, people. So yeah, big him up in that regards. We've gone over the Nico Williams stuff. You can see I'm excited, people. I got bare tabs with that. Where Doué is concerned, a player I'd love at the club. He reminds me, long term, I see you being like a Abu Diaby kind of guy without the injuries, a Pogba, but he can play as an 8, plays a 10, play off the left wing, high technical level. He's got that stardust. You lot very rarely hear me say this. I genuinely believe he's a generational talent in that regards. And at 19 years of age, you know, there's nothing wrong with staying at Rennes, but he's been linked with a move away, people. He's been linked with Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, and Manchester United. Apparently, Manchester United think they do not have the attacking depth and obviously the means to complete his signature, and we're still being linked with the Turkish left back Ferdi Kadıoğlu. Allegedly, we placed a 20 million euro bid, although when you look at Romano, he hasn't said anything of that ilk, and it seems like Dortmund are the ones pressing for his signature and said they're having talks with his camp, people. Where Xavi Simons is concerned, I think he's a quality player, but still needs to learn the tricks and trades of the game. Bayern are pushing to sign him. Concrete negotiations on going over a loan deal with an obligation to buy for 60 to 70 million euros. Allegedly, he is a priority for them, people. I would love him at the carpet. It's fair to say we're not involved. On his future, he said, my future we'll see after the Euros. I was happy in Paris. Things have happened. I was at Leipzig this year. Now we'll see after the Euros. So we'll have to see, people. The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. For me, I don't think we're signing a striker. If you can bring me a central midfielder that ups the levels and Nico Williams, I think that's a step in the right direction, as well as obviously everything else Mikel Arteta demands, people, or requires in our pursuit of winning Premier League and aspiring to win the Champions League, or just a trophy next season, people, so we can shut some rival fans up. On that note, though, people, there is nothing more for me to say. So yeah, check out the rest of the videos, like, comment, subscribe. God bless you all. You know, we're at 60 odd subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, which is a madness. Can we get to 70 before the end of the year? You lot stay safe, stay blessed. Rest assured, if there's any talking points worthwhile, there's vids and live streams coming, so turn on your notification bells. But on that note, peace.
I think